It's Good News Tuesday. Chris Abel is here. Good news. We've got robots on the show. It's always good. Chris loves his robots.
I
Tech
do.
talk is what we dig into. Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Real Chris Abel, Krisabel, because not only did his parents want to make it tough once, they decided to do it twice.
Yeah.
But Real Chris Abel on socialzen.com if you want to get connected with everything Chris goes up to. Plus his YouTube channel is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go in this land of technology that you live in?
Yeah. Well, it's robot scandals that have
Ooh.
continued to happen. So the world of robots, continues to grow and explode. Humanoid robots in particular is where a lot of the fun activity is happening. And basically it's become a game of, is it fake? Every time that a company unveils a new humanoid robot, the humanoid robots are becoming more realistic. So there's a lot of doubt, a lot of scrutiny. A few weeks ago, some people, I know we covered it, I'm sure a lot of people heard about it. A Chinese company unveiled a robot that walked so convincingly, so eerily, that people thought it had to be a woman wearing a costume, that the company had faked their whole demonstration. The company had to repeat the demonstration. They cut open the clothing, the costume of the robot to reveal that no, there's no human being inside. It actually was a robot. That things have gotten that realistic. Well, this game continues. And so we've had two rather interesting instances of the world going, is it fake? The first was Elon Musk with Tesla, had a hilariously embarrassing demonstration. The robot walked out on stage, this humanoid robot. It then fell. It began to collapse. As it fell, the robot's hands shot up to its face and did a very familiar gesture of someone as if they're removing their virtual reality headset. Immediately people
Oh.
looked at it and went, oh, yes, because that's very telling. That means that the robot wasn't actually behaving like a robot on its own. In fact, it was more of a puppet that was being controlled backstage remotely, wirelessly by somebody wearing a virtual reality headset. So here was the telltale sign that Elon Musk's company, Tesla, was faking their humanoid robot demonstration, that it wasn't
Whoa.
actually a robot acting on its own. There actually was a human technician behind the scenes with a controller wearing a VR headset that was controlling the thing the whole time. So Tesla is going to have to try to respond to that. I don't know. It's deeply embarrassing. That's worse than a blue screen of death. The second scandal
Wow.
happened when another Chinese company, and it's the Chinese companies that are leading the way here, called Engine AI. They released a demonstration of their humanoid robot doing martial arts, doing these impressive demonstrations with high kicks, roundhouse kicks, all sorts of martial arts moves, very fast, very fluid. And people looked at it because the company made a mistake that when they did this, they decided to present it with all sorts of cool high production values you get from movies. Amazing set design, smokes, special effects, graphics. Immediately everybody said, well, it's fake. Clearly this is computer generated. So the company said, all right, we'll do our demonstration again, remove all the lighting, remove all the Hollywood effects. And the CEO himself stood up on stage wearing a protective vest, covered himself in padding, and allowed this humanoid robot to do a roundhouse kick and kick him right in the chest, knocking him down onto the floor to kind of prove that no, in this case, it's not fake. But this is what's happening in humanoid robots. Every time a company comes out with a new humanoid robot, and the stakes are very high because China's leading the way and companies like Tesla are falling behind, everyone's now looking and going, was that real? Is it fake? Is it a human being in control, or is the robot in control?
Well, this is part of a much larger stock conversation about promising things and raising the value of the business and then never ever delivering it, right? And then the stock doesn't go down because people are just excited about the stock. And we've seen this before with Elon Musk products where he comes out and he says, we're going to do this. And the stock pops off and then he just never delivers 10 years. Like how long, like he's been saying autonomous driving, like we're going to do it by here, we're going to do it by then. It's been again and again.
Yeah, these promises. And of course, people remember the dot-com bubble that happened. And now people are talking about how artificial intelligence is undergoing that same kind of bubble, uh, you know, disaster. So what's going to be happening, And again, this is something that tech companies are having to battle. The stakes are really, really high. And that's true in terms of robotics. We'll see.
When I was walking through the airport this weekend, big in the, what do you call it when you go through the airport, or the duty free, and
Right.
they had the Swatch watch display in there, and I smiled and I was like, wow, those things are still around. That's crazy.
It's crazy. What's neat is that for their latest Swatch, they've come up with an innovative way to try to limit the way that you purchase things. I mean, some companies will come up with their product and say it's limited edition, or they have a pre-order process just to make sure that there's always stock for people to buy. Swatch, which has released a MoonSwatch. This is a special wristwatch that is all about the relationship with the moon. You can look at it and see the different phases of the moon, but you can also see the different phases of the Earth. What it would be like if you were standing on the moon looking down on the Earth to see the relationship with the sun. This wristwatch monitors that. It also, because it's all about snow, it actually has a special second hand that has a unique snowflake design in gold on it. And every Swatch sold has a completely unique snowflake on it to try to match the reality that snowflakes, no two snowflakes are alike. But here's the big kicker, that the reason why we're talking about it is that if you want to buy one, costs $500 Canadian. The company says you can only buy one if it's snowing in Switzerland. So before you make the decision to purchase, you have to go to the Swatch.com website. There's a little weather report on the upper right-hand side. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can be in Toronto, Ottawa, or Saskatchewan. It all depends on whether it's snowing in Switzerland. It's not snowing today, so you can't buy the watch. It was snowing on Sunday. You could buy the watch then. Tomorrow, the weather report says it's going to be sunny, so you can't buy the watch then. Same thing with Thursday. So maybe Friday, it'll finally be snowing. You can start buying the watch again.
I think they should do it like it's snowing where you are, so like you can get it in this city but not that city.
Well, the company, of course, it's a Swiss watch company.
Yeah,
That's a big part of their brand and attraction. That's why it's called Swatch.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I guess that's what they're going for. But and also to try to make it a universal thing. They don't want it everybody sort of arguing. It's like everybody around the world. It all depends. Is it snowing in Switzerland?
That's cool. I think it's fun. Better than the Donald Trump watches that I saw a story on that people ordered them online and they were missing the T and they said rump. Chris Abel is here. Quickly, we've got about a minute here, Chris. This is cool nostalgia if you want to go for a trip to New York.
Something really cool in New York. Every Sunday, they have an old classic version of the subway trains that's running that has been built up to look like Christmas from the 1930s. I'm really impressed. I thought maybe they would have dusted off a train from the 1970s or the 1950s. No, they have some of the original subway trains from the 1930s that have been well preserved, running the tracks, and they've gone back and done a complete restoration in terms of the materials that are used. So when you're sitting on the seats, they have rattan seat covers. All the advertising is 1930s advertising. They're recreating the entire experience of what Christmas would be like in the 1930s. It doesn't cost anything new. It's free as long as you the same ticket they would normally give you the subway. You're just getting on board a train and entering the world as if it was 1930s again. I love that.
As opposed to like the 1970s, which is riding a normal subway.
Even the lights, they don't have LED lights. It's all the old incandescent bulbs. Wow. I don't know if the lights go out when you go through a tunnel like the TTC subway trains used to do back in the 70s and 80s. As a little boy, I barely remember that. All the lights going out when you go through various different parts of the tunnels. So it's kind of a cool experience and a big surprise.
It's good stuff. Real Chris Abel, KRISABEL.com. And on the socials, you'll find him there as well, plus YouTube. Chris, love the robots. This is good stuff. I love it. Controversy with Chris Abel today.